Hey there, so today we are looking at the MetaQuest 3 and the MetaQuest 3S. These are two next-gen VR systems, and we're going to highlight the key features and differences between these two. So just a quick glance at both units side by side here. We can see they each come with the latest Quest controllers, and then they each come with the headsets. They also come with the USB-C charging cable and wall adapter. So now looking at the headsets side by side, we can see they both come with the same strap system. So you've got a top strap and some back adjustment straps to allow for a comfortable fit. And for both systems, you can upgrade the strap if you desire. There's many different options out there. So just looking at a size comparison here, you can see the Quest 3S unit is slightly bulkier than the Quest 3. So now looking at the face of the unit here, we've got our different cameras and sensors. We can see the Quest 3S is arranged slightly differently. There's a little bit different technology with the 3S than there is with the 3. And as far as the underside of the unit goes, they both have the power buttons here. The Quest 3 has these little metallic tabs here for magnetic or wireless charging. Quest 3S does not have that. The Quest 3 also has this handy little feature here. It's a little wheel that allows you to adjust the spacing of the lenses. So it gives you some pretty good ability to fine tune to match your pupil distances. In comparison, the Quest 3S uses a click system here. So you've got essentially 3 settings you can use. So with the Quest 3, you have a little bit more flexibility there to get it just right. The other thing that's different here is the Quest 3S has this little action button. And this is pretty handy. It allows you to go back and forth between full virtual reality and the color pass-through so that you can see the world around you. And as far as charging goes, they both have the USB-C connection port on the left strap interface. And then looking at the right side of the interfaces, here on the Quest 3, we've got a little headphone jack. We do not have that on the Quest 3S. So another thing we can see is there are cameras or sensors on the underside of both headsets there. And just a quick comparison of the weight of each device, because this is important when you're wearing this on your head. You don't want to get fatigued, and having too much weight can cause that. So we've got 1 pound, 2.5 ounces for the Quest 3. And then here's our Quest 3S, 1 pound, 2.1 ounces. So they're within half an ounce of each other. The Quest 3 is just a touch heavier. So even with the additional bulk of the Quest 3S, the Quest 3 packs a little more into the headset that adds a little more weight. But overall, I'd consider that to be pretty negligible. And in terms of physical structure, this is where the biggest difference lies, is the lenses. So there's 2 different lens types here. On the left, for the Quest 3, we have the pancake lens. On the right, we have the Fresnel concentric lenses. So lenses here on the Quest 3S are actually the same as what is used on the Quest 2. The lens here on the left for the Quest 3 are the pancake lenses, which is the latest and greatest lens type. And this is the lens type that's used in the Quest Pro. And so big differences here with the lens types. There's less pixel count, so lower resolution here with the Fresnel lenses, and you get about 30% more resolution or pixel count here with the pancake lenses. So that's a big thing. The other large difference that's very noticeable is with the pancake lenses here. So you get a much larger field of view and just a much larger area that the image remains crisp and clear. With the Fresnel lenses, picture still looks good, but there's essentially a sweet spot kind of right in the middle. And so with that sweet spot then, you're moving your head more in order to keep your sight in line with that sweet spot as you're looking on the screen. And with the pancake lenses, you don't have to move your head as much. You can just move your eyes and the picture will remain crisp and clear. And so if you wear glasses, there's a little bit of a difference in how you can adapt these headsets for glasses. There's these little snap buttons here on the side of the Quest 3 that essentially allows you to extend the distance of the facial insert. There's several settings here, so you can easily adapt that. Alternatively, for the Quest 3S, does come with a little glasses insert here to allow you to snap it between the facial insert and the headset to get a little more clearance for those glasses. And so the two systems are a little different in how they adapt to glasses, but they both are able to accommodate them. And in terms of processing or power, these are both using the 2nd gen Snapdragon XR2 chipset. So they'll both perform equivalent, both have the same processing power, which is great. So regardless of which system you go with, you'll be ready to go for the next gen of games that will be harnessing the power of these processors. And one key note here, and this is a huge upgrade regardless of whether you're going with the 3 or the 3S, is that both systems offer color pass-through, allowing you to have augmented or mixed reality experience. And this is a huge upgrade from older versions of the Quest. So even with the difference in lens types between these two, you're still going to get that color pass-through and that mixed reality ability. And whether you have the Quest 3 or the 3S, this is an example of just what makes it so awesome with the color pass-through. And this is an example of a mixed reality game where I'm playing ping pong. I can see the living room around me. I can make sure I'm not going to swing my paddle and hit the coffee table next to me. Or I could have a boxing ring here in my living room. And in this case, I can throw some punches and make sure I'm not going to accidentally slam my controller and hand into the wall. And right here is one of my favorite reasons of having the mixed reality ability with both the Quest 3 and the 3S. I'm here with my son. One of us has the 3, one of us has the 3S on, and we are getting set up to play a mixed reality game. We can see we're both seeing the same objects at the same time in this game, scrambling, and ultimately a really fun time. And it's one of those where you're not isolated in virtual reality. You can see other people, you can play with other people, you can see the augmented objects overlaid into the space. So just a really cool time. And aside from the mixed reality, there is still the full-on virtual reality experience with both the 3 and the 3S. And whether you're in VR or mixed reality, you can choose whether you want to sit or stand while using the headset. And here's an example of a premiere game that harnesses the power within both the Quest 3 and the 3S. This is a game that won't run on the older versions of the Quest. So I highly recommend both the Quest 3 and the 3S. They're both going to get you the next gen experience when it comes to mixed reality and virtual reality.